Thank you so much for offering to chat with us and interview about not only a bit more about your career, but also a bit of insight and advice you might have for somebody who's seeking a new career or making a career change or looking for a mentor or anything that surrounds the kind of overarching and harrowing idea of what a career is like. So thank you so much for joining us today, and I'd love to go ahead and jump in with your permission.
Sure. Well, I'll introduce myself. I'm Andy, um, member of Emmanuel, and I can remember back to when graduating from college. I was a math major, and I chose math, interesting enough, because it was the easiest subject for me. So people always said, "You're a math major." I said, I couldn't be an English major because I couldn't read thousands of pages every
Fair.
week, so I chose math. And I guess overall, from a career standpoint or life perspective, I urge everyone to find your passion. Don't think first, what can you make money at, or is it practical? Find your passion, and the money will follow.
Mm.
So, but then graduating from, it was a liberal arts college, so I learned a lot about different, areas, not just math. So I always kept an open mind that way. Moved to New York City with a math major. What am I going to do? So I got a temporary job at Columbia University. My wife was at graduate school at the time. And then I reached out to my grandfather for some help locating a better paying job. And another advice, I guess, is don't be afraid to ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of, you know, whatever. Some things you'll hit a dead end. And I tried to get a job in music because I also play classical guitar, piano, but the music scene in New York was tough to break into. So I asked my grandfather, and he got me a entry level job down off Park Avenue, and I started learning programming. So the area that I made my whole career in is programming, in particular COBOL. And the reason I had to learn COBOL from the company is because the liberal arts college didn't even have a computer degree. So those of you out there who say, well, I got a liberal arts, art history or something, whatever was your passion of college, okay, that will still help you learn something you can make money at. And so they taught me COBOL and paid for classes at NYU. And then I eventually got a job at Dun and Bradstreet Software. And that really is where my career kind of taken off because they sent me around the world. I went to India, Thailand, Japan, just places to install software around the globe. And I never dreamed about having a job that would pay because I love to travel. So suddenly my passions again are the thing that I'm looking at. And I have my grandfather to thank for just getting my foot in the door somewhere. And then I went on to install software for the federal government, in particular the FBI. So it sounds impressive, but FBI in many ways is just like another large corporation to me. It's like State Farm, you know, Payne Weber at the time. But, so we came down to Washington. Obviously, you had to go through background checks a little more, but it was the same technical challenge. And figuring out puzzles of, okay, how can I get a program to support the FBI? And obviously there's some unique accounting requirements, like FBI has to decide how many, or report number of kilos of cocaine that they seize and stuff. So it's not your typical balance sheet or financial statements, but I've done financial statements. I've done on Bradstreet for banks around the world. So now I just had to focus on FBI. Then I started noticing my company was putting people, I went to India to teach people to replace me. So at FBI, I said, how about if I get a job there? Because nobody's going to outsource the FBI. So it was more for job security. And I became a unit chief of the accounting department. I was never an agent, but the support part and being, again, there's a patriotic passion too there to say, Without getting political, I really want to give something back to my country, which I feel I did. Government work versus for profit work, everyone thinks the other side's making money hand over fist. And I'm here to tell you, whatever career you, if you're in the government or for profit, respect everyone. You can learn from people on government side, you can learn from the for profit. And human nature is to always sort of think someone else is doing better. Um, but you find your place, and now I'm retired FBI. I've got really good retirement health benefits, and things happen. So you adjust. You'll find some solution, and it works for you. And so I just encourage people to change if you have.
Andy, thank you so much for that. That was really insightful and we so appreciate it.